Hello, Degens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes NFL Week 7 overreactions. I, of course, am the Brofict one. AJ joining me, as always, is the man with the numbers, sportsbook whisperer, college basketball guru, daddy of the diamond. All hail the king of the links, Mr. Noah Engelbretson. Noah, how the hell are you doing today, bub? I mean, all things considered, of course.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm learning to deal with loss, and it's tough. There's some ups and downs, mainly downs, but I feel like I'm getting a very very small taste at what it's been like to be you with your fandom for the past God knows how many years.
Birth.
Um, hey, the Cubs won one World Series. At least you had a
So did the
brief
D
moment of
backs,
happiness.
so I'll take it, I guess. But both teams are shit ever since.
Do you even
So
remember the D-backs though?
I remember getting woken up by my mom because like I fell asleep in like the seventh inning of Game 7, and she woke me up and we watched the little blooper left center field, Diamondbacks win. Yeah, I remember that. That was great. Parents did not let me skip kindergarten though to go to the parade, so I was upset about that. I was definitely threw a tantrum. But no, I think I've only ever witnessed one parade in my life. Whether it was on TV, but for my sports team, I've only ever seen one parade. You're a guy. I mean, granted, the Packers have only won one Super Bowl since Aaron Rodgers has taken over and everything like that. But the Packers in general just have experienced a lot of success. Not to the
A lot of
level of
winning.
not a lot of winning, not to the level, of course, of like a Patriots or anything like that. That will never be seen again. But you have experienced a lot of good shit as a fan of the Packers and part owner of the Green Bay Packers. But how does it feel? How does it feel to go into Washington, D.C., where I honestly thought you couldn't play a game there because the stadium and front office is on fire, and go in there, play a piss poor game, lose to not even Carson Wentz, Taylor Heineke and the commies 21-23. I mean, Noah, I pulled the ripcord last week. I said I'm done with this team, but then I was a fool and bet on them. I have no words. I have no words for how this Packers team is playing. I have no words for Aaron Rodgers.
You know, we're only sitting half a game outside of a wild card spot.
That's how you're deciding to look at it.
I I mean, this game shouldn't have been a loss. Like there were some questionable calls, and the
I'll give you
Packers
that.
completely got deflated by that Rasul Douglas scoop and score that would have made it a 21 to 3 game at that point. 21-7, 21-10, whatever the hell it would have been. Negated by a what do they call it, a legal contact on Eric
Yes.
Stokes when Gibson completely just ran straight into him. Um, that one was annoying, and the Packers didn't look the same after that call. Like all the momentum, everything that they had, all the wind got taken out of their sails by that play, which is stupid. Like that shouldn't happen. You shouldn't have that completely dictate how you're playing the rest of the game. You got the muff punt by Amari Rodgers. It leads to a Washington touchdown. I don't know. I hope to God, all I want from this week is to see Amari Rodgers get cut.
I don't think
I've
it's
been saying
happening.
it for
I don't think it's
I've been
happening.
saying it for weeks. I've been saying it all year. Um,
That's not happening.
he needs to be off the team, and you take away the offense looking like shit and special teams mishaps. I mean, the defense looked really good. They looked really good. They still look really good. And I love how people are still shitting on Joe Barry and this Packers defense. But when the offense and special teams continuously puts them in piss poor situations, they've done pretty well with what they've been handed to them.
Yeah, they've definitely made, cake out of dog shit. They absolutely have done the best they can. And it might not taste good still, it might not look good, but at least it's cake and not dog shit anymore. So you're right. Aaron Rodgers, he's got to get it figured out. I
Yeah.
understand he's got a
He,
young
he's
receiver core and everything like that. I'm fine with the growing pains and everything, but and the drop balls are inexcusable. I won't. I'm not gonna dig in on the two-time MVP here, But it is starting like his play right now, whereas Tom Brady, he can go anywhere and he will make a receiver, maybe not now, but in his prime, he can make a receiver look like anyone was, Julio Jones or whatever in his prime. But Aaron Rodgers cannot figure it out with these young receivers. He misses Devontae, he misses MVS. Randall Cobb isn't cutting it. I mean, it
Well,
really
Randall
kind of.
Cobb's been
He's been
injured.
injured, my bad. But it really kind of feels like that Aaron Rodgers can't be an MVP without other MVPs around him at this point.
I don't think that's at all true. I don't think that's at all true. He
Scoreboard.
can't throw. Well, he's not throwing the ball well because I think he keeps downplaying that thumb injury, but the fact that he keeps throwing all these balls at receivers' ankles and knees, like I think that has to do with his thumb. Like that doesn't have to do with the receivers. He's placing the balls poorly, which is why there's more drops. I think Aaron Rodgers is, not the biggest problem, but he's currently one. He is a large problem with this team right now, and I don't know if it's his thumb or what the deal is, but I think the defense is just fine. Special teams still having mishaps, despite paying all the money to Rich Bisaccia to come in and fix the problems, and the offense can't do shit. And part of that's play calling, part of that's Aaron Rodgers, part of that's receivers, but there's like multiple issues here. It's not like there's one thing to focus on, which it seems like everybody wants to point and say, "Oh, I'm a genius expert and I know what's wrong with the Packers." No, there's multiple things wrong with the Packers right now, and the only like silver lining in it is it's multiple things that can be fixed throughout the course of a season. They're not, we're not facing a lack of talent wall by any means. Like that's not there. So this team has some time to figure it out and to get good, to get to the place where they need to be. Whether they do that or not, I don't know, but they don't have a lack of talent. I can tell you that much.
I'll give you that. Not lack of talent or anything like that, but they got to figure it out. Also, if it makes it look like I'm promoting this, I'm not. Okay, I am drinking this because there is nothing else left in the house right now, and I'm suffering. It's fine though. Let's keep talking about suffering though, and let's keep talking about bad quarterback play, because I haven't seen a game like this out of Tom Brady. I can't even remember. I can't even remember, Noah. I mean, the Buccaneers, Tom Brady, everything there just looks to be an absolute shambles. That is not a team that won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. That is not a team that has any playoff hopes whatsoever. That is a bad football team. How bad of a football team are they, Noah? They lost to the Panthers 21-3 with PJ Walker in as quarterback. I mean,
yeah, a week after losing to the Steelers. So you can say everything you want about the Packers, right? They haven't looked good, but you know who looks even worse than the Packers? That would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes. Oh, the Bucs look so freaking bad. I didn't know it was possible for Brady to look this bad. And I'm a big Brady guy. I took the Buccaneers this weekend because I was like, listen, you don't win money betting against Brady, and yet here I am eating my own shit. Dude, we might be on the Fade Brady Express, and I'm not going to say looking into retirement. I don't think he's retiring after this season. I don't think he will.
He most definitely is.
No. I unfortunately think that Tom Brady might be at the point where we see him continue on in his career and tarnish his legacy a la Brett Favre. Name one time an athlete has come out of retirement and it's been a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, and people forget about it, a decade later, but yeah, you look at Jordan, you look at Jerry Rice with his year or two with the Seahawks. Brett Favre made an NFC championship game, but then the next year or two was not super pretty. But yeah, it seems like almost every time this happens with these superstar athletes who should retire, end up going to another team for a year, 2, 3 years. Obviously, Brady winning a Super Bowl, but he should have stayed in retirement when he did. Actually, he should have retired after they won the Super Bowl, rode off into the sunset, without this, and if he plays another year or two after this, I don't think it's going to get much better, and he's going to have a bunch of mediocre, struggling to make the playoff seasons. to end his career.
And you can say the injury bugs hit the Bucks and everything. The O-line's got awful with a bunch of rookies and blah, blah, blah. But I think we're past the point of making excuses. Because at the end of the day, the offense doesn't look good. I've seen Tom Brady yell at more personnel than I think I've ever seen a player yell at personnel, especially within one season. You know, an outburst here or there, I understand it. But when you are going in on your O-line, when you are going in on your teammates every single week, it's a recipe for disaster. And the Bucks are learning that, and Tom Brady's learning that the hard way. We're not in New England anymore, bud.
Toxic workplace environment.
Not as toxic as the Commanders, all right? Shout out them for doing their thing. One more extremely bad quarterback play is got to be Matt Ryan. I mean, the Indianapolis Colts seem to be unbelievable at picking the most mediocre quarterback to pay a shit ton of money to come in and turn that franchise around. They kind of remind me of the Broncos now, you know, saying all we need is a quarterback. All we need is a quarterback. Yeah, maybe, but you still got Jonathan Taylor and you're not running the ball well. Your defense is fine. I'll give you your defense, I guess, when they are fully healthy. But, I mean, listen, it was so bad that Matt Ryan was benched. All right, he's getting benched for Sam Ehlinger. He's going to be in the...
Why not Nick Foles? Why are we going with Ehlinger? Why not Foles?
Because it's not that time yet, Noah. Foles only plays well late in the season, and you know, Frank Wright remembers that, and so he's waiting for that week 17, week 16, need to go 3-0 the next couple games, and then boom, Big Dick Nixon. That's how we get, you know, another title from a U of A quarterback. That's how it happens. Honestly, Colts might be if the moment I want to make the statement right here, right now. The moment Big Dick Nick Foles from the University of Arizona is put in at quarterback for the Colts, they will be my Super Bowl pick. It's that simple. Big Dick Nick late in the season with Frank Wright equals Super Bowls and statues.
Yeah, except for the fact that the Colts are going to be so far out of playoff contention by the time that rolls around that it's not going to matter.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Jesus Christ, there's such, like, they cannot move the ball an inch, bro. And they just show no life.
Yeah.
They just show no life. They get down early and they get down in the dumps. They look like Kyler Murray, honestly.
Yeah. Hey, how about the Titans?
Hey, yeah.
0-2 start. And granted that looked not good to begin with they lost to the Giants, which you're like, oh wow, they lost to the Giants at home. Although the Giants are 6-1 now.
It's like,
so
oh hey, they lost to the Giants at home.
By 1 point. And then they got blown up by the Bills, and it's like, uh-oh, what are the Titans gonna do? They're gonna rip off 4 straight wins, including 2 over the Colts.
Oh,
and you know, they got the Texans up next. Probably go to 5-2. Play out the Chiefs. Who knows what? I mean, they'll probably lose that one, but you never know. Titans like to be one of the spoiler teams every now and then.
Yes, absolutely. And Vrabel had a nice chaw in this weekend. I do want to point that out. Great lip on the guy.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Titans division. They're going to win it, mainly because the rest of the division sucks. But you know, they'll still win it. They'll still win it.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to be the boys. Sorry, go ahead.
AJ, you want to... Should we talk about the best division in football? The NFC Beast?
How does that happen? Like, how is it a year ago we are stomping on the NFC least as the worst division that should be relegated to the USFL that was going to be starting later, and now here we are, the NFC Beast, just on a fucking tear. Just on a tear, bro. And I mean, when will it stop? Win, Noah. Win.
Yeah. I mean, Eagles at 6-0. Giants at 6-1. Cowboys 5-2. Washington now 3-4. I mean, holding up the bottom, but they're only a game under 500.
Yeah. And I'm so flabbergasted by it, I guess, and if that makes sense. Like, I can't even wrap my head around how this team did this fast. But I mean, the Eagles actually seem to be contenders and seem to be able to move it, like you said. The biggest shock to me, I think, is the Giants, because I think we all knew that Jalen Hurts is a dog. Jalen Hurts is a guy. He can will the team to win a little bit, and especially with the moves the Eagles made in the offseason. But how about them Giants, bro? I mean, Danny Dimes might be Danny Dimes again.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for them to revert back to how they should be, and it almost happened this week. They had to they had to come from behind to beat the Jaguars, who I still don't think are a very good team. But yeah, I mean, I guess the blessing of being really terrible one year is you get a much easier schedule the next year.
Yeah.
Um, and the reality of it is, right? They beat the Titans by a point week 1.
True.
That's a good win. That's
Great
a good win in Tennessee.
Great win.
Narrow win against the Packers, which in London, still a good win for them. They barely beat the Panthers.
Yeah.
They lost to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Who are a good team.
And that was
but they lost
Cooper Rush in prime Cooper Rush.
Yeah, they narrowly beat the Bears. They did beat the Ravens, but the Ravens have struggled to close out games. But they get the Seahawks, Texans, Lions as their next 3. Then they get a chance at revenge against the Cowboys. Then they play the Commanders, then the Eagles, then the Commanders again. And then Vikings, Colts, Eagles to end the season. I'm still gonna say they have a chance. Like they're gonna be in that hunt for a wild card spot by the end of the season. I still think, despite the 6-1 start, I think they're on the inside looking out though, rather than the outside looking in, which is a huge improvement over. I thought they weren't going to win 6 games all season, so.
And it's got to feel good for them, because it really their destiny is really in their hands at this point. Like they are in the driver's seat, and they'll figure out what happens with the Eagles and everything. But if they can keep pushing through, I mean, even 3 losses, and I don't think the Eagles are going to last that much longer. I hate to say it, I don't see it with them.
Well, they're going to lose games. They're going to lose games.
Yeah, they have to. They're not good enough to go undefeated. They just aren't, unfortunately. I would love to see an undefeated team with this 17-0 schedule. I just don't. We're definitely not going to get it with the Eagles at this point. Who they got next week? I feel like they got a hard game next week. They've got the Steelers. Ooh.
Yeah. But my pick to win this division, now the Eagles have looked better. They got off to a better start than I thought they would.
Yeah.
Especially the Giants, but I'm still not super discouraged by my pick of the Cowboys to take this division. And I thought they were going to take this division because this division was going to be bad enough that the Cowboys could take it. I didn't think where I'm at now is they could still take this division because of how good the Cowboys look, especially on defense.
I would like to, before I say anything regarding the Dallas Cowboys, I would like to first shout out Skip Bayless. How about them Cowboys, Noah? I mean, listen, I hate to say it. I hate the Cowboys as much as the next person. I hate Lakers, Cowboys, and Duke fans as much as the next person. Throw the Yankees fans in there too. They're having a bad year. But hey, I mean, I was a little worried in the first quarter when, they weren't really moving the ball. Lions came out and scored that field goal. Like, oh shit, Lions might be the pick here. That might be the dog of the day. But no, Dak Prescott comes in. He finally gets the rhythm of the game. I'm not saying he's better than Cooper Rush, and I don't think anyone can say that he's better than Cooper Rush. I think the Cowboys are in a grateful position to where it's a coin flip. And Cooper Rush is that backup. If he needs to step in, he can step in and get those wins when he needs to. And hey, I mean, do we know what Dak's contract situation looks like?
Well, he signed that mega contract like a year or 2 ago.
Was that only a year or 2 ago?
He's definitely got a lot of time left on his contract.
Yeah, but the Panthers would overpay for that.
And you can't sit here and tell me Cooper Rush is better than Dak. He's not, but if you're talking about cost efficiency, then yeah, Cooper Rush. I think the drop off is worth the much, much cheaper price tag if you're looking at it from that perspective. But I cannot sit here and entertain somebody telling me that Cooper Rush is better than Dak is, because that's
I
just
just said
simply
I
not.
wasn't saying
That,
Dak was better than him. That's all I
that's
said.
just okay, but that's just simply not true that Cooper Rush is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. However, I don't think there's a huge drop off.
No. And honestly, if Jerry Jones
And
wants to go all in, he can get rid of that contract as fast as possible, get rid of as much dead cap as you can, go out, sign a bunch of weapons, like Cooper Rush, just kind of fling it and tell them to go high. I mean, that's how I would win a Super Bowl if I was Jerry.
Do we want to talk about the shit show that is the NFC West?
I would like to start out by saying the Arizona Cardinals win on Thursday was not good. Okay, I know what everyone's AJ. They beat the Saints 42-34. Yeah, 34 points. Our defense is not sustainable. They can't stop it. I mean, you had Andy fucking Dalton in at quarterback, and he went 30 for 47, throwing for 361 yards. They made Andy Dalton look like a freaking superstar. Taysom Hill, he threw 2 for 2 for 48 freaking yards, Noah. 48 yards. And then
he had a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, and then let's talk about the Cardinals then, okay? 42 points, okay? That means they scored a total of 42 points. Holy shit, our offense must have been really efficient marching down the field and getting touchdowns. Wrong. Kyler Murray, 20 for 29. Okay, 204 yards. Okay. How many touchdowns did he get, Noah? 42 points. That's a lot of touchdowns. They can't get that all on field goals. How many? One touchdown, Noah. I get one touchdown from my $240 million quarterback. One touchdown. Not only that, Noah. Not only that. How many offensive touchdowns did we have? Because, looking at the scoreboard, 42 points, that had to all be the offense, Maybe Kyler Murray didn't throw, but your rushing must have been good. Wrong. 2 rushing touchdowns, one touchdown in the air, and that one's from Kyler Murray.
Eno Benjamin went off.
Eno had a night, 12 carries, 92 yards. The guy's a stud. Eno was great, but our offense is so bad.
Dalton threw 3 interceptions, 2 pick sixes.
Got me all worked up now.
Yeah, you take those 2 pick sixes away, and the Saints win this game by 10 points.
Yes, and no one seems to want to talk about that. All right, yes, Andy Dalton made 2 bad decisions, and they were in the right place at the right time to make those plays. Shout out to our defense, because that was the only real impact you had on this game, was those 2 pick sixes late in the first half. All right? And now I got to deal with everyone saying, "Oh, Kyler's back, D-Hop's back. You want to hear D-Hop's stat line? From, the guy that's good. Back. He was good. 10 receptions, 103 yards, averaging 10 yards a catch. Can't, out of 14 targets, can't be mad about that. But, I don't know. I hate the Cardinals still. And now everyone's saying, D-Hop's back, they're all good. No, we are not all good. Look at the game. Look how it was played. Look at how the Cardinals played. Bad football team equals losses.
Yeah, I've been seeing people talking about, the Cardinals still have a very good chance at winning this division, but in a good light, the Cardinals are doing something right. I agree that the Cardinals have a chance at winning this division, but I think it's because the team that has looked the best in this division so far this year is the team that has the best record, and that is the Seattle fucking Seahawks.
Jesus Christ, Noah. What are we even doing here? Are we even talking about the NFL, or are we talking about some Madden league you're in? What are we doing here?
Right. And the reality of it is the Rams are going to still somehow find a way to win this division. It's probably not going to be pretty record-wise. They're going to be a 10 or 11 win team winning this division. But
they look bad too.
Yeah, Stafford and Matt Ryan tied for the league lead in interceptions.
That's a stat that sounds pretty right.
And the funniest thing too, though, is Matt Ryan, or Matt Ryan's played an extra game. The Rams have had a bye week, and Stafford and Matt Ryan are still tied for the lead in interceptions with
Whew.
8.
Well, Matt Ryan can pass. Well, I mean, Stafford will pass that because Ryan got benched for Ellinger. So, yeah.
Yeah, and Stafford was tied for the lead last year in interceptions, but
You won a Super Bowl, so it doesn't matter.
Right? Yeah, a lot of those interceptions came bunched up. Like he had a lot of 3 interception games, which made his total look a lot worse, I guess. And then a lot of them came when it didn't really matter that much. So, I think the Rams maybe had a certain degree of luck last year that doesn't seem to be there this year.
Yeah.
It's had a lot more costly interceptions and everything.
Well,
but I don't think the Rams look particularly good. I don't think the Cardinals look particularly good. I don't think the Niners look very good. And somehow the Seahawks look like the best team in this division, but I don't think that's sustainable for a full season for them.
No, the Seahawks, they can't, especially with DK out now. He doesn't require surgery, but he will be out for a while. So that's going to be rough for them. I do want to say one thing on the 49ers. All right, besides the fact that Christian McCaffrey looks damn good in a Niners jersey. I mean, he looks sharp in a Niners jersey. Besides that one drive where they looked like an offensive machine, he'll rush for 100 yards maybe, but it's really a running back by committee back there. I mean, I think we will see him be clutch when he needs to be clutch. They can put him out wide. We saw them do that a little bit. And as the season goes on, he gets to know the playbook. They'll be able to figure it out and how to use him to his fullest capabilities. But, I mean, after week 1 of them, I mean, they had a Chiefs. That was a rough go again. But, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And pending what happens with this game, AJ, I'm sorry, I should take it back maybe about calling the NFC East the best team in football. The AFC East, if the Patriots can come back currently down 12 points to the Bears. Bears.
Bears.
But if the Patriots make a comeback, which, granted they're playing the Bears, I wouldn't be completely shocked if, that thing happens. The AFC East would have the only division in football with every team with a winning record.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which would be pretty impressive through 7 weeks.
That'd be very impressive through 7 weeks.
But I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen. Bears with the ball in Patriots territory up 12 as of recording this. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. While we're talking about the AFC East, Noah, I think I want to talk about and announce my Super Bowl pick. My new Super Bowl pick.
Are you on the Bills now?
No, God, no. I'm not on the Bills. No, Bills ain't winning the Super Bowl because they're not even going to be the team out of the AFC to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, then you must be on the Dolphins.
Oh, of course not. No, not with Tua and his Ed stuff and Tyreek, and I don't trust what's going down there in Miami.
Well, then you must be on Bill Belichick and the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going to trust Bill Belichick, who's debating between two clones of each other, whether they can play quarterback with two defensive coordinators calling plays. Yeah, no, I'm not going with fucking Belichick. Jets, Jets. Noah, I thought it was over. I thought it was over. I thought the Jets and Zach Wilson's run was done. I really did. When Breece Hall went down and they said he was going to be out for the rest of the season, I was like, Noah, they're done. They're done. But no. Oh, no. The Jets are in it to win it, signing James Robinson off the piss-poor Jaguars to come to a Super Bowl contender in the 5-2 New York Football Jets. Give me Zach Wilson. Give me James Robinson. Give me Sauce Gardner. Give me the New York Jets, Noah, as my Super Bowl pick. Jets, Jets. Let's freaking go. MILF, Jets. Let's go, Zach.
So you're meaning to tell me you think Zach Wilson pulls a Joe Burrow and goes year 2 all the way?
Oh, yeah. There's something in the air, Noah. And now don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong, okay? I am saying this after they just beat the Broncos 16-9, okay? Without a dangerous quarterback for the Broncos playing this week.
Well. It's the Broncos. They have some pride, right? They're not going to let you beat them by more than a touchdown. They'll let you win, but Not by more than 7.
Did
Not
you?
by more than 7. Not in our house.
Do you
You,
think?
you,
Do you
you
think
can beat the
Russ's
Bron.
Subway sandwiches were less than 7 inches? They give you a foot long. We're like, sorry, 5.5 is the most we can go. Because the Broncos always come up short. Oh, they discontinued that sub. That was awesome. Uh,
Oh God, did they? I
yeah,
mean,
they discontinued it and pulled all ads with Russell Wilson in it.
yeah. You look at the Broncos this season. 17-16 lost. So 1 point loss to the Seahawks. Beat the Texans by 7. Beat the Niners by 1. Lost to the Raiders by 9. That's going to be the biggest one on this list. 3-point overtime loss to the Colts, 3-point overtime loss to the Chargers, and then a 7-point loss to the Jets. The Broncos have hit double digits this season.
What, twice?
Oh, well, 5 times, I guess. But
Okay.
they've been held under 20 points all but one game. And that one game that they scored over 20 was when they lost by 9 points to the Raiders because they gave up 32.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Um,
That's right.
they've got the Jaguars next. The Jaguars are favored by 3 points.
And that's with them losing James Robinson too. I mean, Travis Etienne has had that workload. He's been their back, but
Yeah, God, man, just the whole Broncos situation. And the funniest thing with the Broncos too is I'm seeing people on Twitter. They're like, "Oh, so it turns out Russ was not the problem." And I'm like, the fact that you looked the same with Brett Rippon in there as quarterback. I don't know how you're justifying that as Russ was not the problem.
and also, can we talk
We
about how every week
how
like
is
his injuries got progressively worse?
I'm just saying, how is he not the problem when Brett Rippon
Brett
provides just as
Rippon.
much offensive production? I would say that is enough proof that you need to say that Russ is no better than Brett Rippon at quarterback. And Russ most definitely is the problem with his $45-46 million a year contract. Um, I'm not saying Nathaniel Hackett and his play calling is not a part of the problem, but Russ is definitely a big part of the problem. And,
Oh yeah.
um, you know, I guess bad year or two for guys named Russell and veteran athletes named Russell on new teams because
Noah, you're not talking about Russell Westbrook, are you?
well, I feel like we need a new nickname for Russell Wilson. Although he gets enough fucking shade thrown on him
No.
from all his commercials and the fact that he's got the personality of a soggy piece of white bread.
I mean, and let's talk about the fact that Team 3 okayed that. All right, Russell's team okayed that ad. A director directed that ad. A producer looked at that ad. Corporate looked at that ad. And everyone was like, this is fucking great stuff. This is some good shit. This is going to move some sandwiches.
I'm just gonna say that had serial killer vibes.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I guess they might have known that the Jeffrey Dahmer stuff was going to be a hit and everything, but like, people like the movies about serial killers. They don't really like serial killers. I don't know. I think it's fucked up that we give them any time anyway. That's a whole other conversation for later. Okay, I do want to go ahead and start a new segment on this show, Noah, and that's when we congratulate once a season the guy who will be the next quarterback for the Panthers. Um, I would like to shout
You mean
out.
one? You mean once a week?
Yeah. I guess every quarterback can play bad or good enough to be the next Carolina Panthers quarterback that will get grossly overpaid. I would like to shout out Marcus Mariota. I mean, he has done excellent things with the Falcons. This is the first game they haven't covered in like 6 weeks. And so, I mean, I think Marcus Mariota has played well enough to where he has pretty much secured himself as the Carolina Panthers' next overpaid starting quarterback.
Nah.
No? Come on.
I
Show some love for Mariota.
No, I think obviously the Falcons drafted Desmond Ritter and
Yes.
might want to start him at some point, but I don't know the way Mariota's playing. If he plays this way the rest of the season and has a good off season, I think if you're the Falcons, you go with Mariota again next year. You got him on a 2-year contract for
Yeah.
pretty cheap. And so if he continues to play well, I think he can like holds that starting job through the rest of this year. Even if they miss the playoffs, if they win 7 or 8 games, that's a huge success. And if he has a good offseason, I think he's starting for him again next year.
And honestly, I think that's one thing the NFL has really been kind of poisoned with lately is, these franchises and these fans especially expecting these year one guys to just come in and flip everything around and change everything. Like, this isn't the NBA where you draft a 7'5" guy. I mean, you're going to score an extra 20 points a game. Like, that's just kind of how that works. And yes, there are some quarterbacks that come in and they can just completely change everything, but Trevor Lawrence, who is supposed to be the savior of saviors, I mean, the Jaguars ain't shit. Jaguars ain't shit. And he probably would have benefited from being able to sit behind a quarterback, learn how to be an NFL guy, learn the offense a little bit more in depth. Granted, he's had 2 head coaches in 2 years, so that team's going to be in shambles for a while. But honestly, give Desmond Ridder some time. If you're a Falcons fan and you want him to be your franchise moving forward, you should be praying to God that Marcus Mariota is your starter the next 2 years.
AJ, I think Falcons fans are just rejoicing the fact that they're off to a 3-4 start this season.
I think they're rejoicing they got rid of Matt Ryan's contract and dumped it on the Colts, and they see how bad he is now. They're like, oh shit, we dodged that bullet.
I think, if you're a Falcons fan, if you're a Seahawks fan, even like a Commanders fan, or those are probably, well, and then especially if you're a Jets or a Giants fan, you're just happy to be where you are right now. Those are like the 4 or 5 teams where you are not complaining about a single thing. You're like, yeah, we've got some losses. Yeah, it hasn't been the prettiest route here, but like, fuck it, this is way better than we thought this season was going to go.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Actually, I shouldn't speak for those fan bases because some of those fan bases are probably sitting around waiting like, all right, when's this shit going to fall apart?
Yeah. That's me, but my teams are already falling apart, so that's lit. No, I'm going to bring something up I don't like to talk about a lot because of everything, but this is a football conversation, so we're going to talk football. All right, put yourself. You are the Cleveland Browns GM. You're the head coach. All right, and you're 2-5, and the way it's looking, you're going to be about 2-9 when Deshaun Watson is eligible to come back and play. Yeah, you're paying him some money this season, but is it worth it? I especially with how bad the Browns are right now, I'm kind of on the side of I wouldn't play Deshaun. I wouldn't do it. Why would you? Why would you? If you're not even close to making the playoffs, you got this quarterback that you're paying $500 million, $250 million guaranteed to. I mean, would you really want to risk an injury in the dog days when you're already out? And then you don't, God forbid he injures his shoulder and he can never throw the ball the same again. Like, if I'm a GM, that's something I'm thinking about right now with us sitting at 2-5.
If I'm the GM of the Browns and I have given this fully guaranteed contract to Deshaun Watson after everything that's happened, I'm 100% fucking playing him because you've already started digging your own grave. Now your grave's being dug. You can try to keep throwing dirt in it and cover it up, or you can just accept your fate, lay down in it, and fucking die. And so if I'm the Browns GM, I'm playing Deshaun Watson because, the grave digging has started. I'm throwing dirt in it as fast as I can, just trying to deal with the problem that's inevitable and hoping somehow I can shovel the dirt in that hole faster than it's being dug.
Week 12.
A terrible analogy, but if you follow, that's,
Week 12, they're going to the Texans. Obviously, that's going to be a game that everyone's watching, but they are burying it away on the morning slate. They got that one nice and early, so it's just going to. So I really think the NFL
No,
is going to do whatever
nobody's
they can to not put Deshaun Watson anywhere close to
also,
prime time.
also because nobody wants to watch the fucking Browns and the Texans. That's why it's at. That's why it's in the early slate. Maybe consider that, AJ. Just nobody wants to watch that game for two teams that are probably going to be out of playoff contention by that point.
No, I'm going conspiracy theory that they just don't want any bad press. And they're still going to get some.
No. Just nobody wants to watch that game.
Nobody. Speaking of which, do we have a good Thursday night game this week?
Probably not.
Let me look at it. I'm curious. Ravens Bucks. So no. Unless the Ravens decide to choke away another fourth quarter. What's going on with that, by the way? Why the hell can't they finish?
Oh, their pass defense is god awful, which is surprising considering they have like really good DBs, but
yeah.
Maybe they're all past their prime. I don't know. I don't know. I just looking at the preview for the game, I just do want to point out that Leonard Fournette has 103 carries for 362 yards and 1 touchdown.
Jesus.
Lamar Jackson has 66 carries for 510 yards and 2 touchdowns. In addition to his 1,400 pass yards and 13 passing touchdowns. But
again, pay the man. Pay the man. Pay the man. Pay the man. I'd probably start it out now. If I was the GM and I wanted to get a deal done today, I'd be like, all right, Lamar, let's go $300 million, 5 years, with $241 guaranteed to make you the highest paid quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I think 60 a year might be high, but I don't think 54, 55 is out of the realm of possibilities.
They make it to the playoffs. What's he worth? I think he's worth 60 then.
Well, they win the division. It's getting close to that. They win a couple playoff games and start flirting with the Super Bowl. I think it's worth even more than that. They go to the Super Bowl. He wins Super Bowl MVP, then yeah, he's at 60 to 62 million a year.
All right. No Super Bowl. I'll give him 58 a year with 241 guaranteed over 5. Opt-out clause for both parties in year 4.
Also, if you're the Ravens, just I know they're like they don't want to deal with it this season. He's expressed the fact that he wants to stay with them, but if they just keep putting this off, keep in mind he's going to be a free agent.
Yeah.
They could try to franchise tag him, but say for instance, like I said, complete random hypothetical here. Very slim chances of it happening. But say Rodgers decides he wants to retire after this season. Packers shed. Rodgers is whatever the fuck his contract is at. 50 whatever million. Little over like 50.
51, I think.
Yeah, I think he's due like close to 55 or something next season.
Anyway.
And the Packers have that built in, right? Rodgers decides to retire. And the Packers go out and say, hey, Lamar, we'll give you a, mostly fully guaranteed, 4 or 5 year contract. Come to the Packers. We have a really good defense in play. I know the weapons aren't there, but he hasn't had receiving weapons his entire time at Baltimore.
Hasn't needed it.
So why the fuck does that matter? And you bring in like Lamar with what the Packers have going, and then, I don't know. And that's just one scenario. There's probably, if he goes and tests the free agent market, there are a solid 10 or 15 teams that will pay Lamar whatever the fuck he wants.
Absolutely. And I think the Cardinals should be in conversation there too. I'd be down for an upgrade.
Mm-hmm. He's definitely an upgrade over Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Huge upgrade.
Then again, I'm also on the team of benching him and starting Colt McCoy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But
I fired Cliff, though. Let's get him the fuck off play calling at least.
Yeah, I can't wait till the Cardinals win like 8 or 9 games again.
Dude.
Cliff and Kime stick around for longer.
And then they're going to be like 25 in the draft, and Cliff is going to sit there in his little lair and draft something we don't need. Oh, he'll probably draft another quarterback just to piss off Kyler. Be like, oh, it worked in Green Bay. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers had an MVP season. But, yeah, trade up and get a QB. Anyway, Noah, you got anything else to say about this crazy NFL week and how the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl? Yeah, fucking season.
And I said this from, what was it, like week 2? I said this season's going to be weird.
And it continues.
Only took me two weeks. And I, like, what the fuck is going on in the NFC? First of all, the fact that currently that 7th seed in the playoffs, that last wild card spot, is looking like a 3-4 team is in that right now. Actually, I think the Rams at 3-3, but only because they haven't, they had a bye week, so they didn't get to lose a 4th game.
True.
But yeah, you got the Packers and the Bucks looking as bad as they are, with like the Falcons and some other teams roped in there, all only half a game outside of a playoff spot. So I hate the way that the Packers have played, like you asked me earlier, AJ, but we're right there. We're right there looking at a playoff spot. Yeah. And then the AFC, the complete opposite. Like it's looking for the most part pretty clear in which teams are going to have an uphill battle and which teams are looking pretty good in the AFC. And the NFC, it just, outside of the Eagles, kind of looks like a fucking shit show. I mean, Giants look good. Vikings are 5-1, but I refuse to say the Vikings look good because they don't.
You got to say this with me, Noah. Jets, Jets. Best team in football.
Nah.
Sure as hell isn't the Vikings. Fuck the Vikings.
Yeah. Well, I can agree with that.
Yeah. Well. Anyway.
Plus, just wait for the second half of the season. Those chokers will do what they do best.
Oh, I can't wait for it, Noah, and can't wait to continue to watch.
Just wait till the Packers win the division at 10-7, because the Vikings will lose like 6 out of their last 8 games.
That'd be the most Vikings thing to do. But yeah, with that being said, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Give us a like, share, subscribe to the channel. Help us grow so that we can quit our day jobs, because Noah, sitting in a cubicle, that's rough. That's rough. Shout out to all of you that do that. But yeah, like, share, subscribe so that we can sit behind a desk instead and talk about sports. And hit us with a follow in the link tree down below in the description. Follow us on all the socials. Check out the merch store. That's right, we do have a merch. Don't you worry about it. It's good shit. But yeah, we'll be back later this week with our NFL picks and locks, as we always are. I've been the Bro 51 AJ. That's the Money Train Noah, and we'll see you next time on Degenerate Takes.